News team gives you a closer look at the events that happened around Maine this week.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us. I'm Cindy Campbell. Today we're talking with Sergeant Wade Betters of the Bangor Police Department about a variety of topics, including how to protect yourself against car burglaries, bicycle thefts, and other crimes of opportunity, and also about those people standing in the medians asking for money. So, Wade, we're talking about things like people going into cars and taking things out. I know you often refer to that as a crime of opportunity. What does that mean? What's a crime of opportunity?
Lots of people are out there a lot of times at night, but also during the day. And when it comes to car burglaries, they will go around a parking lot. They will go down a city street, a residential street, and they will simply pull the door handles of your vehicle. So many cars are left unlocked that it's very rare that people have to force entry into a car in order to make entry. So these people doing this will literally go from car to car, simply checking to see which ones are unlocked. And if you've left your door unlocked, they're going to get inside your vehicle and rummage through it, take things from it. Remember, a lot of vehicles have trunk releases from the inside, so if you have something in your trunk but you've left your door unlocked, a lot of times thieves can still get to those items by pressing the unlock button from inside the vehicle.
Right. And what kinds of things are they looking for? What kinds of things are they most often apt to take?
So first and foremost would be cash, loose change, purses, wallets, electronics, phones, computers, backpacks, anything like that. They're looking for items that are readily available to remove and carry off without being detected. So, I mean, someone definitely would steal a very large TV from the back of your car, but sometimes people won't do that because they know they can't walk away or walk down the street without being spotted for something like that. So think of it as small electronics, phones, iPads, loose change, cash, purses, wallets, sometimes even clothing will go in. Unfortunately, we've had reports over the years of handguns or firearms being taken from vehicles as well.
Wow. I once had a bottle of Tide taken out of my car. Sitting in a parking lot.
You know, anything of value, sometimes things are taken as kind of a head scratcher why they would take a certain thing. And maybe someone is going to use it, like in your case, maybe they were going to use the Tide to do some laundry. Right. But oftentimes we see people take things that can be resold, whether it's sold on social media or taken to a pawn shop. They're looking to get items of value that they can quickly turn over into cash.
Okay. So obviously the way to prevent this is to lock your car.
Yeah, absolutely. Locking your car is the best way to keep the bad guys out. It's unlikely they will force entry into your vehicle unless they can see something through a window that would make it worth it for them to take that risk. In the state of Maine, it's a misdemeanor to open a vehicle door that's unlocked or reach through a window and remove something from the vehicle. But if you force your way in, break a window, rip the door open, and you take something from the vehicle, it becomes a felony. So some of the bad guys out there do know that, and they won't force entry into your vehicle unless they can clearly see something in there that is worth the risk. So if you have a high dollar item or a purse or a wallet there, make sure you conceal it inside your car so it cannot be seen through the windows.
Tuck it under the seat, put it in the glove compartment, put it in the trunk, just make sure you lock the doors.
Absolutely.
Okay. How about when you're parking your vehicle in public? Should you be parking closer to the building?
Well, it always helps. You know, I see a lot of people, especially at nighttime, will try to park around light poles and that type of thing, which is always a good idea. A lot of businesses now have security cameras, and the closer you park to the building, it is easier for the security cameras to record what happened at your vehicle or record you as you're in the parking lot. So we recommend that as well. But in the end, because there are so many car doors left unlocked, if you simply just lock your door, there's a good chance that if someone comes and attempts to get in and they find that your door is locked, they're just going to quickly keep on moving. A lot of these people will do this in teams during the day, and at nighttime someone will act as a lookout. And so someone's pulling car doors and whatnot, they're going to have a heads up when you're coming out of the store or coming back towards your vehicle, or if the police car is driving by. So I say that just so I want to educate people, to let them know that when they see a couple people that are acting suspicious in and around their neighborhood or in a parking lot that don't appear to be going to a vehicle, they appear to be hanging out or walking by several vehicles, and really they look like they're up to no good, we'd appreciate a phone call on that. Any local police department would like to know about activity like that so we can come and identify the people involved.
Okay. Crimes of opportunity can also apply to houses, correct?
Absolutely. The same rules apply to homes. If you leave your front or back door unlocked, a window open or an unlocked window is never a good thing, especially if you have items of value that can be seen through that window. If they have a high value and they can be seen through your window, it is awful tempting for people who are out there looking to take those type of items. So remember, ground floor, first floor windows left unlocked provide an easy opportunity for people to make entry into your home. And again, sometimes people do not spend very long inside your home at all. They'll be in and out very quickly, especially when they're only going in to get something they've seen through the window.
So keeping valuables away from the entry, so say taking your computer and putting it down the hall in your bedroom or something, does that help? Because do they tend to wander around the house or just grab what they can grab when they walk in?
If they're feeling confident and the house is completely vacant and they might spend a little bit of time in there walking around, that does happen every now and then. Okay. Generally, these people are not violent. They're not looking to harm or hurt anybody. They're just looking to take something that they can quickly exchange for cash. But at the end of the night, if you have an office or you're working on your computer in the living room, in your living room or bedroom window or whatever, there's a shade, and you're going to plug your device in at the end of the night, just make sure it can't be seen from the window. Because if someone comes walking by and shines a flashlight in there and sees that you have a computer and the lights are out, it's 3 in the morning, you might be sleeping, you might not have a dog or an alarm system, they may take advantage of that opportunity and go through an unlocked door or window just to take that item.
Okay. What's your best advice? If you wake up in the middle of the night and there's someone in your house, do you hide and call the police or do you confront them?
So I guess it's a little bit of a to each their own. If someone's in your house, most of the time when that happens, it's the bad guy does not know that you're in the home, or he or she may know that, but they're hoping to go in and out of your home undetected. So coming back to the fact that most of these people are not violent, they're just opportunistic thieves. If you sound off, if you make a noise, if you turn a light on, if you announce to them, most of the time they will flee that property extremely quickly. But you have to make a judgment call in that moment. You have the right to defend your house, your property, and your personal safety. I think state law now requires, if possible, if it doesn't jeopardize your safety, for you to give a warning to an intruder before you move to like a deadly force situation. And again, that warning is something they want from you if it's not going to put your personal safety at risk. So if you're upstairs and somebody's crashing around or trying to do something in the downstairs of your house and they have no idea that you're home, give us a call any way you look at it, but you could stay silent and give the police a call, and then we'll come and deal with it. Or you could turn a light on or yell or something, and most of the time people like this are immediately spooked and they'll take off running.
All right. Another hot commodity right now is bicycles, right? How do people protect their bicycles from being stolen?
It's so hard to do. We encourage people to get really heavy-duty chains and bike cables and things like that and lock them up to secure posts, cement columns, bike racks, and things like that. Unfortunately, some of the thieves out there will have some of the best bolt cutters available, and they can cut some of these chains. Some of them are much harder to do, but oftentimes they don't have to work on cutting the big heavy-duty chains or really secured bicycles because there are so many other bikes that are not secured to that level that it's just easier to take those other bicycles.
Right.
So you got to remember, if you have your bikes on your porch, you have a walk-up porch or an entryway that can be seen from the street, and you leave them there, even if you tie them up or chain them up, if it's a fairly small chain or a cable, they're just going to cut that chain and take the bikes. If you don't chain them up at all, they're just going to go up on your porch and take the bike and ride it away.
Right.
So that's the thing. We encourage people to not leave their bikes outside where they can be seen. If they're going to be unattended, don't leave them where they can be seen. So that means put them in a storage shed, but also lock that shed. Okay. Put them inside the entryway of your home. If you live in an apartment building, if possible, take the time to bring the bike up the stairs and put it inside your apartment building, or at least in the common hallway where it cannot be seen. Don't leave your bike unlocked when you go. You might take it for a ride to a hiking trail or to someone else's house or to a business. Don't leave it unsecured for very long, because bikes are a huge target of thieves right now.
Okay. Is this a Facebook marketplace? Is it likely that your bike may show up on Facebook Marketplace?
So So they are sold on social media platforms, Craigslist, Uncle Henry's, you name it. A lot of it sometimes is word of mouth as well. But the thieves are taking these bikes. A lot of times we get them if we do a search warrant at an active drug house. I've seen many, many bikes, dozens of bikes collected at some of our local drug houses before. So people are taking them and they're trading these bicycles into people in exchange for illegal drugs. So a lot of the people that take in these bicycles are very quick to begin to alter them. They'll paint them, they'll remove the serial number. They will take a high-end bicycle frame and they'll rebuild it with cheaper components and sell it at a higher price. They'll in turn take the higher-end components like the rims, the derailleur, the brake system, then they'll sell those independently to make even more money. So it's difficult for us. I mean, I would say right now we have at least 200 or 300 bicycles that we've had in storage over the past year and a half to 2 years that have been seized by us, but we cannot locate an owner for. And they're not all coming from Bangor. Some of them come from surrounding areas as well. So that adds to the challenge and the fact that some of the serial numbers are obliterated, but oftentimes most people do not write down the serial number of their bicycle once they buy it. And that's one thing that could really help us maybe make an identification on maybe the entire bike, but at least the frame, so we can get some of those parts back to the rightful owner.
Okay.
But stealing bikes have become a form of currency in the drug world, and that is a fact. So I've seen it many times over. You can either bring cash, gun, or a bicycle, or in some cases high-end sneakers to some of these drug houses to trade them for drugs.
Wow.
And that's why they've become a form of currency.
Okay. All right. Speaking of the drug world, let's touch on real briefly here. There are needle disposal boxes around the city of Bangor now, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Where are those located?
So we have some down on the waterfront, and we have some over on the, we call it the footbridge, along the walking trail on the Kenduskeag Stream, between Harlow Street down behind Penquist Cap, and it stretches over to the opposite side of the Kenduskeag Stream below Coe Park. We have them over there as well. Unfortunately, we still don't see a lot of people using the syringe boxes. They are in parks as well, and it's a very, very frustrating problem.
Very dangerous for those to be on the ground. A kid could come along and pick one up.
Absolutely, or step on one. A lot of them are uncapped when we find them. Some of them do have the caps on. Now, some people do use the box, but it doesn't seem like very many people are doing it. And it's so frustrating for us and for people who are trying to use public spaces, and they're on the side of the road. They can be in a shopping complex, parking lot. They just seem to be everywhere nowadays, and it's a huge problem. One of the things that if people are actively using and they have a need for syringe use, you can throw needles out in the regular trash as long as you put them in a solid plastic container like a laundry detergent bottle or a good thick soda bottle, screw the cap on, then tape the cap closed and write on the outside of the container sharps. Then you can just throw that right in your regular trash. So I think sometimes people forget that they can do that, and they just get nervous and they just throw them out their car window, or they just leave them on the ground, and it's just a huge problem. And boy, if anybody sees anybody discarding syringes on the ground, we'd love to get a call on that so we can track that person down.
Okay. One last question I have. We're seeing a lot of the people coming back to the medians and standing out at the end of parking lots for stores with signs saying they're homeless and collecting money. Is that something that you should give them money, or is that more often than not a scam?
So that's a good question. And yes, they are out there, and it is not illegal for them to utilize public property in order to ask for donations and whatnot. So the truth is a little bit down the middle on this. I would say there probably are some people that are using that for legitimate purpose. Okay. But I can acknowledge the fact that there are probably some people out there that are legitimately looking for donations for what they're asking for to better their life or to help with groceries and bills and things like that. I can absolutely acknowledge that. But at the same time, I can also see that there is another side to it that is fraudulent. Okay. And that's not something that I think might happen. Those are things that I know happen from years of experience and actually talking with people who collect at some of those intersections, who later brag about it or laugh about it, about the amount of money they've gotten. I can think of one gentleman in particular who has a very, very strong addiction to air duster cans. Believe it or not, he spends most of his day days smelling or sniffing air duster from the cans. And he is one of the people that you'll see him out and about, and he'll ask for money for food or to help with housing, and then he takes that money, and he'll openly tell you that he does this and goes to buy more of the air duster cans. And he's just one of a few. So I'm just telling you that it's kind of both, right? So there are people that are absolutely manipulating others, and they're using that money to feed an addiction, and there are some out there that are actually using it for legitimate purposes. So I would just say use caution. If you're going to give some money to somebody, just realize that there's a chance, and maybe even a good chance, that it would be used in furtherance of an addiction. At the same time, some of that money might be used to buy them some food for that day. There could be a day that they're just ready to sit down and eat a meal, and they might be very thankful for that. So just keep that in mind.
Thank you so much to Sergeant Betters for sharing some valuable information with us. Next, if you're in the hospitality business or you want to be, Hospitality Maine's website can connect you with potential employers. Here's Steve Hewins to tell us more. Steve, what is this new initiative with Hospitality Maine?
So it's called GreatMaineComeback.org because it's listing all the restaurants and hotels across the state that literally are hiring instantly, like as people call. So that's the main problem we have right now is, obviously we're reopening restaurants and hotels. That's a challenge just in general. But staffing is the biggest problem. So everybody in the industry is pretty concerned about, we'll have a lot of people, but we may not have a lot of people to serve them. So that's the whole concept, the Great Maine Comeback. We're coming back. We need people to come back to work. And, and I guess the pay's never been better. And, there's a lot of flexibility on hours, when people can work. And, I'm one of my best summer jobs. I went to the University of Maine at Orono, and I worked summers as a waiter and, made a lot of money in about 4 hours a day. So, we got to get a lot of those people back. It'd be great.
And for people who are looking for jobs on your website, they can search the area, say they want to go into restaurants or into lodging, and you have a list of places that are hiring and how they contact them, right?
Yeah, it's exactly right. We're not like Indeed or jobsinmaine.com or any of those things. It's simply a search engine that has all the places, all the businesses that have signed on with us. There's over 300. So, they just go on the site, search it, and then they click on I'm interested, and throw a couple short little questions, and it goes directly to the person that's hiring. And I guarantee anybody that does that, they'll hear back from those people pretty quickly.
And we're always hearing from businesses, especially restaurants, that we can't find people to hire. We can't find people to hire. If you're good at what you do, if you really want to dedicate yourself to a job like this, then you can make a lot of money. And there's a lot of jobs out there that are going to look great on your resume, that you worked and did a great job and got a great review from the employer.
Yes, that is it. It's really about, wanting to get back out and see people and work part of a team. That's the industry. People work together and share a lot of the job load and all that. But like I said, the pay is really, we did a survey of our Hospitality Maine members about a month ago, and we asked if pay was up, and 96% said pay was greater than it was in 2019. So it's the time. I guess what I would say is job seekers in general are in the driver's seat. And if you're that type of person, it's a great business to get into. And you can make it a career, or you can just, supplement other work or, work part-time.
Find more information at greatmainecomeback.org. I'm Cindy Campbell. Thanks again for joining us, and stay safe.
Join us again next weekend for Maine Concerns with your Town Square Media News Team.